If you did not know what that was me doing the Jurassic Park theme. 1993 Jurassic Park, not all the other ones. The first movie. Spielberg production thing. Was originally a Michael Crichton book. Anyways, why did I do a little thing that, kinda, little Jurassic Park jingle? Well, I used to do a bunch of different what ifs. I want to get back to doing that. Not just the one that I started. I want to do, just enough so that it's not overflowing, but enough so I can kind of get back in the groove. A bit. And I kind of started the whole thing with the Poké Summoner what if. Now here's another one with what if Naruto and others were the Geno-Raptor or Geno-Dinos. Or just Genos. Now, if you have no idea what the hell I'm doing, basically, this entire story starts in the Jurassic Park universe, actually. It's basically in the future, like in the future enough. You see, there was this big project called Project BHS. BHS standing for Black Hole Sun. And Project Black Hole Sun is basically in order to prevent from any more, death and destruction, just make the dinosaurs holographic. Like, if we actually want to do this, just make them holographic. Like, we've suffered enough, people. But I guess holographic isn't the right word. Like holograms is what I was trying to say. Make them holograms. So that they can't really harm anyone. Or at least not harm them a lot, if harm them at all. Because the whole PR shit's already down the shitter. With the whole thing with Engine. But no matter how careful they try to be, something that Project BHS, something that happened in the close to final days of Project BHS, something goes wrong. Like, everyone is, just, like, it's going great. Everyone is, having a good time. That's whenever the hologram energy starts to distort and become a different type of energy altogether. A sort of vortex energy. Like, literally, the energy is transforming into a different type of matter energy, or energy matter. that's really sucking something or some things out from a different place into the immediate area. Which is Isla Nublar, the original island. I believe the original island from the first movie is Isla Nublar, Isla Nublar, whatever the frick it's called. Basically, the first island. Because of something that happened before starting of BHS, the BHS project. They ended up figuring out that all the dinosaurs in Isla Nublar, that's what I'm going to call it from now on, until someone tries to correct me and actually is able to. It basically, they get contacted that all the dinosaurs in Isla Nublar are dead. And everybody's like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah. Like, all the female life forms on the island just died. And since that was like, the dinosaurs were turned, like, female, unless, like, the dinos were female to begin with. Basically, even if the dinos were male, they were turned female in the whole project to, it's explained in the Jurassic Park movie. The whole thing. Basically, anything that's female basically just got nuked by some invisible force. And now something is transmitting all the dead energy to the clearest source. That clearest source seems to be a giant mass of holodeck energy. And what is the most giant source of holodeck energy? The island where they're on. So basically, they just transmitted, all of the dinosaurs back to their island. Not back to, basically on their island. And seeing as all the energy is basically leaving them now, basically performs some sort of pseudo-necromancy and basically brings all the dinosaurs back to life, and they start rampaging. Basically killing more people than they have ever had before. A little project of mine I like to call Jurassic Revolution. And you know how, like, Jurassic Park movies, like, the background of the dino and the logo's red until it got up to Jurassic World, where the background of the dino was blue? Not background. Well, in Jurassic Revolution, the background is black, and the actual dino is silver, like a whitish silver, like you know how they say white gold? It's like a whitish silver dino and a black background, and it just pops up whenever the screen goes black after the carnage, and like the bold letters, Jurassic Revolution. And during this point where, like, you could just see the thing, like, see the logo, like, Jurassic Revolution, there's, like, this ginormous T-Rex roar. Yeah, basically that. Only a lot louder. Like right straight in your face. If you guys could actually hear that. And whenever like the everything is basically like the next scene is basically engine labs, and everybody's going about and like, this is a disaster. This is a disaster, Mr. Wu. And this guy, Mr. Wu, is like, I know, Jeffrey. This is nonsensical to the point of bullshit. And the Jeffrey guy's like, not. This is beyond bullshit. This is fucking insane. And the Mr. Wu guy is like, well, BHS has decided to recollaborate their efforts into something new. And the Jeffrey guy's like, BHS nearly killed everyone. Are you really thinking that we can actually still trust them? We don't even know who their leader is or their real intentions. They could have actually been the ones to actually hack our systems and cause the freaking glitch. And the Wu guy is like, the last time, Jeffrey, we don't know if it's an actual glitch or not that fried the systems and transferred all that energy back and forth. It could have just been... Just never mind. Get back to your stations. I'm done with this conversation. I have to get back to my efforts with the whole project that I have to present to the higher-ups at BHS headquarters. If not, the board there is going to have a cow. Hell, even if I do, they're probably even going to have a cow then. This is giving me a fucking headache. Assistant, coffee, please. And just like this assistant lady just hands Mr. Wu his coffee. He's like, thank you, assistant. Good. Nice coffee. Good coffee. And the guy is just like, Mr. Wu, it's like you run on coffee. And Mr. Wu is like, what did I just say? And the Jeffrey guy is like, fine. And then apparently the Mr. Wu guy is just like to himself with the assistant and his coffee as they just travel on this high-tech looking bus and all the way to this cool-ass looking ship. As they go somewhere, like this random place, and they stop and like they get off the ship and they go all the way to this super freaking awesome building, and they go down this elevator to like some secretive area. This like double door room thing called testing labs. And he like presses buttons and he's like, testing lab module activate. And the thing is like, activating testing lab module. And he's just let in, like the Wu guy. And he's just like, I assume that everything has been done. And some guy comes up to him and is like, "Ah, Mr. Wu, we've been waiting for you. Please follow me, and your assistant is here with you. Why?" And Mr. Wu guy is like, "For a very important reason. Clemens, why weren't you told? I would assume you would have been told why she would be with me." And this Clemens guy is like, "Sorry, but no. I don't remember being told anything about that. Rashira, I remember, I think." And the assistant, now known as Rashira, is like, "Yes. I was the one to help with the reconstruction after the incident with Blue. Sadly, all the efforts for the reconstruction, with Blue helping, caused a lot more harm than help." And the Clemens guy is basically like, "Well, what'd you think was going to happen with all this bullshit going around here?" Even with myself being a member of the board, I still don't approve of what they're doing. All except for the leader. He is probably the only one here with their head on straight. Well, him and his I think you know. And Wu guy is like, "Ah, yes, the daughter." And the Clemens guy is like, "Yes, Siez. Yeah, the daughter, Siez." And the Wu guy is like, "Siez seems to be an upcoming scientist. I mean, she was even able to help Blue with the whole problem that she had." And Clemens is basically like, "Well, for the most part, she did something weird with her hands, and Blue's been feeling better ever since. I have no earthly idea what the hell she did, but thank the Lord for it." Because Lord knows that it was no certain form of actual science that any of us humans understand. Almost like alien in nature. That is, unless it's some sort of healing method that has just been hidden by time. Though I doubt it. And basically, Wu passes Clemens and basically goes through a door, and, well, like on his own, the assistant does not follow him this time. And this time he meets with the boss and his daughter, Siez. The boss turns around to meet with the Wu guy, or just Wu. And the boss is like, "I really wish this wouldn't be such a problem that you would come to me for. Can it please, for once in your life, not be a problem that you come to me for this?" Can it just not be a simple meeting? And Wu was like, sorry, sir. And the boss guy's like, no sorry. Just, I wish it didn't have to be so freaking complicated. Just damn it all to hell. And he just looks over to his daughter. Ciaz, how has Blue been doing with the recovery? And Ciaz just looks to her father. Father, Blue's doing just fine now. And the boss's guy is just like, good. When will Blue be ready for release? And the Wu guy just looks at him funny. And basically, like, the daughter is just like, release in about 0500, sir. Or, father. And the boss guy is just like, Ciaz, I'm not your boss completely. I am still your father. Last time I checked. And Ciaz is just like, sorry, father. And the boss guy is just like, it's alright. You're still in the midst of everything that happened. That whole incident. After all, the equipment that was rigged, the ship that carried that equipment was known as the Austin. You were on the Austin. That's why we named that incident the Austin Incident. And no, it is not Austin with an I. It's not freaking Texas. It's Austin with an O. Auston, not Austin. Austin, basically. Anyways, back to the story. And the boss guy is just like, you have nothing to be ashamed of. It's fine. You have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm actually very proud of you for being able to help Blue the way that you did. And the daughter is basically just like, Blue Chen, she's like a sister. Of course I would help. In any way I could. And then the boss kind of looks towards her. He's like, say, Ciaz, have you came up with a name for the method you used yet? No pressure, it's just, I've been wondering. And the daughter just looks at him and is like, yes, you could indeed call it medical jutsu. And the father is just like, enough with this jutsu BS. And the daughter is just like, but that's what I'm calling it. After all, if I can use the jutsu to help the dinosaurs that actually are on our side, I mean, come on, Dad. And the boss is just like, you're giving me a headache. Fine, you can call it that. Just Never mind. Just go and tell Blue about what's going to be happening soon. And the daughter, Ciaz is just like, okay, Daddy. And just goes off. And this automated door just opens for her, and as soon as she runs out, automatically closes. Because I got futuristic automated doors that recognize the family. And Wu is like, Frederick O'Haran of the O'Haran bloodline. Know you to be head of the family, or at least you're head of the family now. You may treat your daughter's abilities, her jutsu, she calls them, as oddities, but I think of them as discoveries. And Frederick, we now know Frederick, is basically like, Wu, she is not your science experiment, and I will not have you treating her like one. And Wu is basically like, I'm not at all. No, you misunderstand. You see, I am a great judge of character. I see the potential in Miss Ciaz for someone who could help us a great deal. Not an experiment, but help. Help in keeping us above water. Help in introducing a new age. She seems to have much compassion for Blue, even allowing this releasing of her. And Frederick is just like, last time I checked, you called Blue an it. What's the change all about? And the Wu guy is just like, I know better than to aggravate your daughter or whatever. Well, technically both. After all, I think that's how your daughter gets it, both from her mother and from her aunt. That treating of dinosaurs and other creatures with this way of unnatural kindness beyond the surface level, just almost as if she can understand them beyond what normal humans can. This is a mind that is worth cultivating, a form that is worth cultivating. And Frederick is just like, so what do you indeed propose? And Wu is just like, I call it Project Geno. And Frederick is just like, I've heard of it. Do you really think that she'll want to be turned? I think you misunderstand her kindness for willingness to actually go through with such a project. And Wu is just like, I think you misunderstand the feelings of your own daughter. After all, you don't exactly seem to have much time with her. You seem to let others, also myself even, to look upon her. And security measure. And Frederick is just like, So what if I want my daughter to have extra security whenever I'm not around? That doesn't make me a bad parent. It just means I have a job that I need to tend to in order to keep my own family afloat. And I can't be stuck with my daughter while doing that job. It's very dangerous, and I don't want her to get hurt. That isn't bad parenting. That is worrying about my daughter. And Wu is like, geez, so offensive and defensive, much alike. Really, I do indeed believe that she would like it. Especially if she knew about what is destined to happen. And Frederick is just like, I thought you didn't believe in that mumbo jumbo. And Wu is like, well, at first I thought it was completely preposterous. Indeed, I did. And Frederick is like, what do you mean at first? And Wu was like, but then something changed. Something unexpected happened. My men were able to capture the very being that caused this unexpected change. They called themselves an Otsutsuki. Their name, Kaguya. Their power is immense, Frederick. And the way they speak, everything about them, it's otherworldly. It's beyond our understanding. We must know about it. We must be able to understand it before we can conquer it. So that our world can become better than the shithole it is now. And Frederick is just like, show me the whatever woman, or person, or whatever. And Wu is just like, correct, woman. I was able to tell that even though they may be alien-ish, or, well, you know, they still have gender. And yes, indeed a woman. With tremendous power, indeed. She speaks of a chakra fruit. And how people like us have gained power from her eating said chakra fruit because of her sons. Well, one of them known as Hagoromo. The one that some of these humans call the Rukurasanin. And Frederick is just like, Sage of Six Paths? And Wu is like, yes, apparently you do know yourself a fair share of Japanese. Never knew you for being such a scholar in that definition way. And Frederick is just like, well, never, look at a book at its cover and just, you know what I mean? Never judge a book by its cover. And Wu is just like, yes, indeed. If you wish to know about the Otsutsuki woman, Kaguya, she says, I shall let you. But be forewarned, she has told me much, and what is to come for us. And so Frederick does. And what he finds out? Well, after finding it out, he basically has to subdued Kaguya be eaten by raptors. Yeah, what he found out he didn't like. Because, well, Kaguya didn't exactly break it down lightly. basically cursing at him while doing it. Cursing his very existence for trapping her. After all, he wasn't exactly the one to do it. Now, was he? No, Wu was. But now that Frederick knew about this, all of this, he basically goes to Wu and is like, I know now, Wu, and none of this is good. I might just take you up on your offer, but still, Siez, will this do anything to harm her directly or indirectly? And Wu is like, hopefully not, but considering what was said from the woman's mouth, we don't have much time to contemplate like we're some numbnuts idiots. Because once everything is done as it is done, things will start to change, and we will lose the grip that we had once had for a long time. The world is changing, my friend. Everything is going into chaos. And if we wish to stay on top, if we wish to stay afloat amongst the chaos, we must adapt, no matter what cost. And so they basically talk to Siez, and basically Siez agrees. But, Blue hears about what's going to happen to Siez, and since raptors are actually very smart, and including Blue, and Blue is incredibly smart, even for raptors. So, Blue ends up convincing them to be a part of the Geno-Raptor that's going to be made using Siez. So not just Siez, but Blue as well. But because of this violation of both animal and other animal, and just the type in which, and just violation of everything that Engine is doing, really, alongside, BHS. Engine and BHS just acting like gods here. Just boom. Out here. What ends up coming out So as you can clearly hear, shit is going down. That is basically what they hear as soon as all their machine shit stops whirring in the base lab where they're doing this, basically looking like Dr. Frankenstein. But within all the madness that is what has just happened, something seems to be pulled in. Because you see, at this very time, all hell was breaking loose. Because of, well, the machinery that's being used to create this thing. I mean, animals have been used to, create other animals. Like, this is nothing new to Engine, but, I mean, people are animals, but not in the same way that animals are animals. In a certain way. I get you should be able to get it. Yes, ish. Like, this is not something that should be happening. And it's causing shit to go haywire. And just in order to stay alive, both Ciez and Blue are having to contact something from beyond their dimension in order to stay constant and stay like themselves. But this power that they're contacting is beyond even them, as it's connected to something that is so wickedly powerful that not even either of them can really understand it. As, meanwhile, in that very same dimension in which this power that they're calling forth is, well, officially, like, originally from, is, a 6-year-old boy who is, like, literally in an alleyway just after, being beaten near to death. But he is being healed by his tenant. Yes, this is 6-year-old Naruto Uzumaki. But both Naruto and his tenant, the Kyuubi no Kitsune, Kurama, they can feel something is going on. It's like something is messing with everything. Like, the air isn't right. Nothing is right. Something is messing with everything. And all of a sudden, where there were like raptor chirps a second ago, now there is no sound at all coming from the machine. Except for the faint sparks of something that just got torn from the inside out. And just exploded internally. And there's like this giant explosive gash that, like, both of them can now see, like, Frederick and Wu. Basically, they can see the carnage that went on inside this machine. Literally pulling from an energy inside another dimension, all to keep the consciousness of both Blue and, the daughter of Frederick, Ciez, alive. and, well, conscious at all. But now they're being mixed and melded with something like completely unnatural to their own senses. And a process that completely bewilders Naruto's tenant, the Ninetales, Kurama. He's completely bewildered. He doesn't even know what just entered. He can't even tell. Like, his chakra, which would usually try to destroy invasive threats, like his body would also try to destroy them at the same time. Literally cannot tell what the frick just, like, bonded to him completely. And thoroughly, utterly, completely bonded to him. Naruto wouldn't even be able to know, as he just knocked the frick out from the pulse of just random energy that just hit him. He, like, knocked the frick out. Literally just wakes up in the hospital as Kakashi and Itachi just realized, like, oh fuck, he's unconscious. They just now were able to get there as they could tell that Naruto was literally dying. And so they basically are like, oh shit. And then the Hokage just pops out of nowhere, like, here's in, like, what the fuck? Like, he literally just saw that shit on his crystal ball, like, he literally gets into the freaking gear, like, what the fuck? I was like, literally fuming. And whenever they finally get to the hospital, like, none of the people actually glare at seeing Naruto because of the three incredibly powerful people that are, like, trying to keep Naruto from dying. Like, they see that Itachi, Kakashi, and the Hokage are with him, and they're like, fuck. Like, we can't freaking do anything, because if we try and do shit, like, these three will fucking end us. So, like, nobody can really try and plot shit against Naruto. I mean, like, if they try that, then they'll get freaking obliterated. So they have to play nice and actually do something to try to help Naruto heal, even though they hate that. And here is in Itachi and Kakashi just inside. They're just like, damn it. Like, this is too freaking far. We have to figure out who did this and kick their ass. This is too fucking far. There's poor Naruto. Meanwhile, inside Naruto's just subconscious of everything. He's really getting torn from the inside out. And so whenever everything's basically gone and done, basically whenever Naruto is finally able to wake up, he's like, Gigi? Huh? He sees his Gigi and he sees two Ambu that he knows as, well, he knows as Ino and, well, the other one. Now I remember which Ambu, like, Itachi was. Yeah, Inu and Weasel. Yeah, like Kakashi was Inu and Itachi was Weasel. Like Naruto basically just in his head, he's like, oh, Gigi, Inu, and Weasel. Basically like Gigi, Inu, Ni, and Weasel Ni. Yeah, Ni, because, brother. Basically, he views both Inu and Weasel as his brothers. And Kakashi and Itachi are just inside their just warmth, happy because, like, well, I mean, Naruto is Kakashi's sensei's son, like the son of his sensei. Literally, Minato is Kakashi's sensei, and Naruto's Minato's son. So, hearing that from Naruto is like warming to him. And, Itachi never hated Naruto, exactly to the contrary of that. And most of that is because of the fact that, he's not an idiot. Like, he's actually extremely smart and knows about Naruto's situation. Plus the fact that Sasuke, well, he knows that Sasuke actually likes Naruto. It's just that he doesn't want to show it. Boys being complicated like that. And yes, this is before the Uchiha Clan massacre. Just so you know. After all, Naruto was freaking 6. And it seems like they actually, well, Naruto realizes, wait, they don't have their masks on. Inu and Weasel. They don't have their masks on. So, actually, Naruto can call them by their real names. So he's basically like, Kakashi ni, Itachi ni. He still puts in the ni there, because, still thinks of them as brothers. But they all kind of realize that Naruto is acting kind of weird. Like, it's on like an almost imperceptible like twitch of like something like it's like almost like his like senses are heightened even more than they already were. Like they're always trying to look out for something. But almost like it's also like they're like also knowing that they would look for that. It's like he's like something like unexplainable, but it's like very like putting like off putting me. And whenever Naruto is finally cleared to go to his apartment, whenever he finally tries to like freaking sleep, he ends up in a freaking sewer thing, and he's like, where the hell am I? And this is the first time he meets the fox, Kurama. But it seemed that there are two other beings there. Some reptilian bird looking thing that's really actually bigger than any bird or reptile he's ever seen. And doesn't look like any bird or reptile he's ever seen. But he still kind of knows that it sort of is that. And On the other side is a girl. What? And the Nine Tails is like, I'm a girl, you insufferable. And Naruto was like, what? The Nine Tails is a girl? And, Kurama's like, shit, I revealed that. Fuck. And the girl's basically like, hello there, my name is CS. What's yours? And Naruto is like, hey CS, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. You have a pretty name. And CS is like, Uzumaki like a whirlpool? Cool. Or like Naruto Maki, like a fish cake? Tasty. Cool even more. And Naruto's like, he's like, just inside, he's like so damn happy. Like, barely anyone has ever freaking like acknowledged and realized how like lonely he freaking is. And he just like feels so happy that a person is finally freaking realized. Like, he knows that there are people who realize, but it's so seldom few and far between that it still feels pretty damn freaking lonely. Even though he does know that there are people that care, it's still pretty freaking lonely having so little that care. And, the people that don't care being so freaking mean. Like, what the frick did he do? And then he realizes the fox behind a cage and how freaking big the fox is, and the fox has oh shit. And the whole paper that says seal. Wait, what? Wait, weren't you killed by the fourth? And, Kurama's just, he's just like, and Naruto's like, it's like, people say that, but I don't believe that. Like, I don't really think that you can kill a Pichu. Can you not? Like, just seems weird. But if it's not killable, then what? How that is the. Like, Naruto's just confused. Like, why is, like, the Nine Tails in his head? And basically, Kurama explains everything. And even explains that he was controlled. And actually, that he didn't actually hate anyone. He just didn't, well, exactly like anyone. He didn't actually want to hurt anyone. And he was forced to. Twice. By the actual Madara. And by someone, later on, someone pretending to be Madara. That person being the reason why Naruto has no freaking parents. Because he ripped Kurama outside of his mother, basically being a death sentence. And, well, his father basically had to use the Reaper Death Seal, a death sentence in itself, just to seal Kurama, and the only child he would ever trust himself to actually, do that to, because he wouldn't, actually do it to any other child than his own, because, not only does he believe Naruto to be strong, but he just couldn't do it to any other child. Plus, he believed that the village, would see him as the hero, and, actually, treat him right. Oh boy, how wrong that was. And, like the reptile bird looking thing and Siez both see Naruto and how, like, sad he looks, but also happy, in a way. At least he sort of knows about his, well, heritage now, kinda. And the reason why everybody, treats him that way. That they do. Before, he didn't know jack shit. So at least now he knows something that sort of makes it not as bad, but sort of makes it worse. It's very the confusing emotions that he's feeling right now. And he doesn't really know what to feel. Until he just gets hugs from both CS and, well, the chicken bird looking thing. The reptile chicken bird looking thing. That's at least, like, bigger than him, but not too much bigger than him. And CS says that, well, the other thing that's also hugging him, well, it's called a Velociraptor, and her name is Blue. And Naruto's like, thanks, CS, thanks, Blue. The hug feels nice. And he just turns around and hugs them. Because, well, he feels that he's gained more friends now. Like, if it's possible that CS and Blue could be considered friends. And considering his state of malnourishment, considering how he's often treated, he's able to squeeze through the bars and even hug Kurama. And Kurama is like, this feels so strange and unusual, but also kind of happy. So he really doesn't do anything. He just takes it in, lets it happen. And Naruto is like, 3 new friends, and, like, whatever happens next, he'll just take it in with his three new friends and the other friends that he has. Just new members to the family that he's making for himself. And so whenever Naruto finally wakes up to his consciousness, he realizes from Kurama that, well, he can kind of mentally communicate with them so he doesn't look like an idiot or like freaking crazy or both. Like, just think what he wants to say. And he can even kind of mentally train. Like, whenever he's asleep, he can, like, mentally train inside of his mind. And, like, Kurama even goes as far as to tell him the secret of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, seeing as he seems to be failing with the Clone Jutsu. It's something that, after he saw it once from some people training, he wanted to do it, early, to impress some people. Mainly the Hokage. Become a ninja early, but, Hiruzen wasn't gonna do that. I mean, after all, the clones weren't even solid. Plus, even if they were, he wasn't going to have Naruto graduate before he even, like, registered for the freaking academy. And even if he did register, no. Ain't letting that happen. Not early, not that early. After all, they don't even let you register until you're 8. And Naruto's only 6. But whenever Kurama tells Naruto about, the reason for everything of his chakra, not just being him, like, not just being Kurama, but the fact of his Uzumaki heritage, you know, like dense chakra and having a shit ton of chakra. Like, it will allow him to do some crazy shit, but it's also going to be health control. But there's a variation of the clone jutsu that basically just ignores that, which is known as the multi-shadow clone jutsu. Or for those Japanese fans, the Taje Bushin, the Taje Kage Bushin no Jutsu. The Taje Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Thank you. Taje Kage Bushin no Jutsu. I think is how you say it. And eventually Naruto gets around to learning it. About the time that he learned it in canon. So yeah, Naruto's around, 12 turning 13. Whenever he finally, graduates. After freaking beating the shit out of Mizuki. Because he was able to figure out that the dude was a traitorous swine. Sack of shit. From a little bit of something he gained from all three of them. Kurama and the other two. A certain little bloodline known as Geno-Raptor. And that the Geno-Raptor bloodline is sort of like a Swiss Army knife bloodline, because it's basically a bunch of different type of bloodline thing in one. I mean, it's part dojutsu, part like a bunch of different, like, it is basically whatever you make it, really, in a way. After all, a little bit of an example of that is the Raptor Eye. The Raptor Eye is a dojutsu that is part of the bigger, thing, simply known as the Geno-Raptor, which Naruto is. It's basically a mini bloodline instead of a giant bloodline, which the Geno-Raptor is. And what exactly is the whole Geno-Raptor? Well, it's more or less something that Naruto can mold in like different dino forms. But since raptor is in the name, it's mostly going to be carnivorous animals. And, dinosaurs, basically. The first time he actually uses the Geno-Raptor Technically, he is the Geo-Raptor. He actually freaked out. And as, Naruto goes throughout his life, he will figure out other stuff about Geo-Raptor. And that's just kind of how Naruto pronounces it. It's actually supposed to be pronounced Geno-Raptor. There's supposed to be an N in there, actually. The project that those other two were working on was called Geo-Raptor, but the name of the animal is Geno-Raptor. Like genocide route in Undertale, which is kind of a nod to the way the Geno-Raptor actually works. All about predatory power. And what exactly I mean by that? Well, the first time he activates the Geno-Raptor, he's trying to run away from Iruka after a prank that he was able to, pull. Basically scribbling all over and just doodling all, doing what he did in episode 1 of Naruto. Yes, he does this multiple times. Just trying to, he just wanted to do this one more time before the year completely ends, after all. Just like something to remember him by. Before he, goes on to become a full-fledged ninja. Remember the, good old days. He's not actually trying to go full-fledged, try hard. He's just wanting to see what will happen. As, this isn't something that he's trying too hard on. But whenever the Anbu show up instead of Iruka, Naruto actually gets scared. Because it's not his Kakashi ni or Itachi ni. It's actually a different Anbu. One that he doesn't like so much. And they don't like him so much either. And their dislike kind of stems from the fact that the Anbu would kind of get the Uchiha police to kind of come with him and finish what a certain blonde-haired Hokage started. Yeah, this be a Naruto hater. And Naruto wasn't even that mean to the guy, before. And Naruto is just sick and tired of it. He's just like, I hate this jerk. Just having to run from him because he's just not in the mood to get the casual, bullshit again. Until Naruto gets an idea. What if he's able to lose them in the Forest of Death? After all, another person, someone he knows as his Anko-chan. Or Anko-ni. Or Anko-ni-chan. Yeah, he calls her his Anko-ni-chan. what if they were to run into Enko Nichan again? And I say again because this has actually happened before, running into Enko Nichan instead of him. And, them blabbing off about Naruto, and, well, seeing as, Naruto has had a sort of similar thing going on, then, to her, Enko doesn't like it whenever people, try to harm Naruto because they're similar, you know? And, that similarity is kind of like formed like a kindred bond relationship type thing. So she's very protective about a little Gaki. So, like, the people are just like, just hope we don't run into Anko. Like, Anko, like, let's hope we don't run into her. But they're still gonna try and, find Naruto. Just, like, hope they don't freaking run into her. No, they run into something way worse. Because Naruto ends up, tripping on like a loose vine of some sort. That's like really tough and just F's up his foot really bad. And then he just face plants all the way down. And he's like going through the trees, so he's just like nosedive crash. Like Vegeta shit. Electric side. Boogie 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 boogie. Like, he's super wrapped up. Like, he was already pissed. Ow, my freaking ear, ow. He was already super pissed, and now this shit. So he's just like, F this shit, man. And he's like, what was it you guys said about this Geno thing? And, like, the daughter, whatever her name was, I said it, like, and Blue, they both look at Kurama inside the friggin' seal cage thing. And they're like, should we do it? And Kurama's like, let's do this. I'm sick and tired of my kit being chased around by ignorant assholes. Yeah, over the time, all this time, like the past 6 years, 6 plus 6 equals 12. Basic math. Over the past 6 years, like, Kurama has just not stood for this bullshit. And gotten really protective over Naruto. So as, like, the daughter and freaking Blue, like, they've all gotten really protective over Naruto, and they're like, it's finally time to just freaking do this shit. And they just, like, level up Naruto all the way to the shit. And the thing is, like, the reason why they even went into the Forest of the Death in first place after Naruto is because it's freaking birthday today. So they're extra, like, bullshit up. Normally they wouldn't go into the Forest of Death if they went in. But they've just decided, fuck it. But, unlucky for them, Naruto's decided, fuck it. So we just like, fuck all of you. And just like, it's just crazy. But they're not gonna like what ends up happening. Yeah, they end up just hearing that. Like, that shit. And if you were wondering, that was the Geno-Raptor freaking roaring at the moon scene from Jurassic Fallen Kingdom thing. The Fallen Kingdom. It's basically the Geno-Raptor roaring at the moon scene from Fallen Kingdom. Is basically what they just heard. And now the hunt is on. Like, Naruto knows he can't, kill these people, but, he still freaking hates them. For how they just don't give a shit and just treat him like dog shit. And seeing as, Naruto always sees these ninja, going through the trees, he even does it. You know, Sometimes whenever he goes into stores and he gets sold bad things, there was this one time where he saw something like a comic book and he saw this on the cover it said Miles Morales gets the Venom Blaster, something about that. Not really on the cover of the comic, but on the side shelf, had something like that, info on the comic on the shelves, the comics, something about those comics, something about that, the Venom Blaster. So the Miles Morales version of Spider-Man. And ever since Naruto was hooked on Spider-Man, and he's just been I want to be able to be Spider-Man, but not just any Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man. And so he just foregoed the orange and just decided to be Ninja freaking Miles Morales. Except he's not black. Just Ninja Miles Morales. Basically. So he's basically doing that. He's not even freaking just freaking tree hopping. He's basically web shooting throughout the sky. Only his web is chakra web from his freaking hands. Naruto learned specific chakra control just in order to web sling. And F up shit. Because you know how in the later movies, the Miles Morales movies, how it's a multiversal thing? And Miles Morales is considered an anomaly. Well, let's just say, seeing as the power of the Geno-Raptor is so vast and so uncontrollable, any sort of anomaly could get sucked into its mass and just get absorbed into a finite power source, infinite, whatever, and become part of it. So now he has the powers of Miles Morales. Just a wanked version of Miles Morales' powers from the freaking Sony movies. There's oh holy shit. He even has not just the freaking web shoot. Not just the web shoot of the normal Spider-Man, but freaking Venom Blaster. And even from the 2099 comics, because I don't know if he has that in the movies, but the glider that freaking Miles Morales Spider-Man has. He has all that shit. He even has, since basically every Spider-Man has it, Spidey sense, and the strength and speed. Yeah, he's basically going God mod. And he's only freaking 12 and a half. going on like 13. Just now today. Like, just now today was his 13th birthday. So, yeah, just now today he turned 13. And he is loving the shit out of it. Because he just now got to try something out. And that was basically by activating his Venom Blast thing. Not by shooting it, but just by activating it. He can actually spread that energy out and create a suit for himself, like a fucking symbiote. And now his entire freaking body is just colored in this mass symbiote. That is like sentient in like a bajillion different ways, seeing as it like contacts through the things inside of him. Yeah, that's right. His symbiote differs based on who's in control. Like, if it's him in control, Kurama, the girl, or Blue, who constantly is also a girl, just like Kurama and the, daughter. Like, basically, basically on who's, like, in control, based on who's in control, is, like, how different the thing would be. And right now, he's in his, seeing as he's wanting to provide maximum pain, before he was just just going through the trees, he was in what he calls ninja mode, or nin symbiote mode. And basically, whenever he taps into the symbiote, he basically looks like a raptor. Like, whenever he taps into Blue. Whenever he taps into whenever he taps into Blue's power, he basically turns into a raptor. Because he's the Geno-Raptor. But before all this, he was basically using his, his normal chakra form, basically just web shooting, using, the chakra thread that he can malleably create, and basically, fling himself through the dang forest of death, like he just doesn't give a shit, because he doesn't. And he's just happy as can be. In fact, he's just decided to fuck with them.
Every great evolution in marketing has a spark. The moment when bold ideas and powerful tech...
He's just like, hey, dumbasses. Nice, isn't it? And the guys are just like, that demon brat. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Now take this. He just swings in like BAM! Ha! You guys are about to kick it. I'm about to take you guys on for a ride. Time for spectacular Naruto Uzumaki. Spectacular Spider-Man. Let's do this. Just speed. And he just speeds off. And, he's just web slinging. After just beating these people up with the freaking venom blaster, and it's just boom, boom, boom. And whenever he finally gets to the Hokage mansion, he's just outside the window, upside down. Just like, hey, GG. And Hiruzen is like, Naruto. Even as a genin, you're still the same. And Naruto just coming in and just like, I thought you liked me. And like, Hiruzen is just like, I didn't say that I didn't, Like, why are you here though? And, Naruto's like, well, I had some rough company, but they're dealt with now. Nothing too much. Though I was finally able to test out that whole stuff. Looks like I was finally able to get the whole, that Miles dude to actually agree to share with me that power. All of it. He seems pretty down. Then again, whenever I finally heard why, I can understand why that would be a colossal bummer. But he doesn't have to worry about that now. Because myself as the Geno-Raptor, I have the ability to make an entire friendless. Yes, he literally has that. Literally can just absorb people into him, into his seal, through the power of the Geno-Raptor. Because I think you guys don't understand. This thing literally just sucks things up into its, molecular void. And assimilates them into his consciousness. Naruto's consciousness. Subconscious, mind, whatever the frick it is. Just pours that shit into his seal. Like, the very fact that his, entire, biological being, cellular structure, everything structure, was just effed up so badly by what happened, has just freely allowed him to, do whatever. Literally, the whole shit with the Geno-Raptor that, BHS were working on, they basically were super secretive to Engine. They didn't say jack shit about what they were working on, behind closed doors. Not even, Frank do whatever. Not even the boss. He did not say shit. He talked to Wu. He just didn't say what he was working on. And yes, because of the whole shit of what they did to Kaguya, no bullshit at the end of the dang war arc. Me, myself, I don't really consider Kaguya bullshit, but I'm just saying. Some people do. Just saying that Wu was just able to freaking, snap that shit through, some sort of, crazy time travel vortex shit that BHS were working on. And whenever Wu found out about it, and what exactly was getting pulled through, that being an Otsutsuki, that in particular, Otsutsuki being Kaguya herself, well, you guys know what happened. So yeah, basically, no one has to worry about their chakra being stolen completely and being stuck in an endless freaking genjutsu death. Except for the whole shit with Obito and Madara. But I mean, like, Zetsu was the will of Kaguya, and seeing as Kaguya is no more, like, that shit just F's up all the way. I just want you to get you to understand that BHS was kind of just funneling in the Otsutsuki energy as some sort of superconductor for what they were already working on with the whole Geno-Raptor serum, and how they were kind of funneling it into, the daughter who already had effed up freaking biology. Seeing as she already was kind of a conductor for early symptoms of chakra. If, like, her medical jutsu shit that she was actually performing wasn't clear enough, yes, that actually was medical ninjutsu that she used on Blue. An early, like, thing of it, but still medical ninjutsu. A type of synthetic-ish chakra through, things that BHS were working on. A synthetic version of what the Otsutsukis could, do. That they had found out, the ability to make. Synthetic chakra. That could mold into the literal makeup of humans and other creatures. Basically giving, anyone else the ability to use chakra without having to depend on another being. Because they could just create chakra at will and have it thus, integrate into a person's being without any sort of, fuss at all. And the whole thing with not only the daughter and, Blue. Blue's a fucking dinosaur. So that just, holy shit. Plus, Blue is a dinosaur created by freaking, I think you know who. And technically recreated because of the full, scientific necromancy bullshit. But I think you know. And basically the whole thing with BHS and how it even came to be, that is something for a later part of this What If. Because, if you think about how horrible, Engine is, Engine ain't got shit on BHS. What it has in store. And technically, because of BHS, Naruto's basically become God Mod. Because I wasn't kidding about him basically, just what Miruem can do to people in freaking Hunter x Hunter with their freaking energy and everything about them. Naruto basically just sucked up everything of freaking Miles Morales and every other Spider-Man that he had ever come into contact with. So, every freaking ability. Even if those Spider-Man ended up dead, like Peter, because of the bullshit with freaking Kingpin. So yeah, basically Naruto has the power to freely evolve. And he doesn't even know how, epically overpowered that is. Just because of what BHS did. And that isn't even the full extent of how fucked up like BHS is. They just wanted something to be able to be their, like, little guinea pig for their true project. That true project being Project Genocidal Genesis. Yes, you heard me right. They literally they're literally calling this shit Project Genocidal Genesis. That is what they're building up to. And well, their entire thing, the reason why they're even doing Genocidal Genesis is a mystery within itself that I will reveal sometime in the future whenever we're down later parts. Because this shit is so dang good. Nom 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 nom. Deuces!